Philadelphia Future Perfect is a collection of historic maps that are written in the future perfect tense, a tense which expresses expected completion in the future. Our selections range in date from 1802 to the 1970s, but each presents, to viewers past and present, a vision for a modern Philadelphia. As much as we strive with this exhibit to admire the maps as beautiful art objects, we also see them as a series of sometimes sound, sometimes chaotic beginnings with one common spoiled ending. The projects represented here were realized only piecemeal or never at all. Together in the close quarters of Brodsky Gallery, these unfulfilled proposed improvements, artistic renderings, plans, and theoretical maps jerk us forward and backward along the time-space continuum to reveal the other cities masked by the familiar and contemporary Philadelphia, much like a plaster wall which, smashed in certain places, reveals brick beneath. Tonight, we're exceedingly lucky to have Herr Steinberg with us, who has offered to give a walk-through tour of the exhibit after a brief presentation to orient us to the exhibit. And I can't think of a more important person to be here today than the architect who refigured without disfiguring the historic Victorian house, which became the Kelly Writers' House, and who, through his work at Penn Praxis, simultaneously demonstrates his devotion to the city, its people, its history, its past, its present, and its future with every project. Please welcome Herr Steinberg.
Well, with that, I don't think there's anything more for me to say. Full disclosure, Lily worked with me this summer, and she was a wonderful intern. She's still working with us this semester, and it's great to be here. I want to recognize my wife, and actually my son is here as well, Henry Steinberg, who is a junior here and did the beautiful broadside that is accompanying this exhibit. Not sure what it means to have the writer's house adrift in a sea with sea dragons, but we'll have to kind of deconstruct that one around the family table. And then my wife Jane is somewhere. There she is, who was also the architect with me on this renovation project. So it's coming back to the Kelly Writers' House is always like coming home. See Leonard Clipper, Mike Keene. It's old home week here. So thank you all for coming. Do I need to use this, or can I? Yes. Okay. I can't project. Okay. So Lily and Max asked me to basically frame a conversation about what's on the walls today, and it's everything from the early 1800s to the kind of middle of the 20th century, maps that, as they put it, have not fully been realized, that they project a sense of the possible without necessarily being a complete kind of archival reflection of what is. And I'm going to argue today, not kind of vehemently, but at least argue that maps are never finished, and that if we go back to the beginning of Philadelphia and we're going to look at William Penn's famous plan for Philadelphia, there are many inconsistencies in there and many kind of ideals and values that they express, but ultimately the city over time continues to reinvent itself in many ways, a reflection of pragmatic realities as well as changing ideas and about city living and city building, and that these are moments in time that are essentially essays of what might be, what could be, but not a finished product unto itself.